My name is Aaron Alexander. I've spent the majority of my adult life in Los Angeles, born in Pennsylvania, Amish country, and I'm an author and host a podcast and try my damnedest to help people move better.
What inspired you here, to come here?
I heard many people that I respect speak highly of the guidance here. And I think that's the most important thing with choosing something like this, because it's a very intimate space to put one's self into. Essentially, it's like psychological, spiritual surgery. So that was the most important thing for me, is that people that I already respected had experiences and said that it was at the highest level that they'd experienced. So for me, that was enough.
What's different today than the first day you were here within yourself?
I think I'm still very much in process, and I'll continue to be. I don't think it's like you do some plant medicine and all of a sudden like you're a new person. Maybe for some people, but for me it's never been the case. So I'm absolutely in process, and some of the lessons that I've gathered thus far is inviting more trust into my body. Experience I had last night was specific around feeling this low-level contraction in and around my back and my ribs and various different parts of my physical body. And a part of that expression and the experience was feeling like I was almost like wrestling with the experience. And the metaphor for that for me in that moment / now was, I think I've had a low level of wrestling with my life in general. And so inviting myself to trust into that specific experience allowed me the lesson to trust into my breath in this moment, trust into maybe some stress that I'm having in some work thing or a relationship thing. If something feels really hard, it's the invitation is there to trust into the process and relax into the process, and then for me that allows the learning to start. So that was something that was really kind of like profound, I would say, from a lesson last night. Overall, just in the last 5 days that I've been here, I do notice a greater amount of lightness as I'm walking around. And I think a part of that is just going through this process of purging in various different ways. So that's, includes lots of things that are uncomfortable, lots of things that feel quite good, but just through shining a light on different parts of myself that I think have been held in a contracted state for a long time. This has been an opportunity to shine a light on those places, and it feels lighter to be in my body after 5 days. So that's good, I'll take it.
And last question is, what's been your favorite part overall of the retreats?
I think it's surprising the level of what seems to be an intelligence of the plants. That's something that's, without experiencing it, there'd be absolutely no way to describe it, because you just sound like a crazy person, which is completely understandable. But in experiencing it, it's very fascinating to be able to trust and surrender enough to allow what feels to me like some high level of intelligence of the plants, or maybe the ceremony, or maybe the shamans, or maybe it's placebo effect, my mind, whatever the heck it is. It feels like there's been access to some level of consciousness in working with the plants. It's like literally like you're working with a doctor, or I'm working with a doctor. And so to be able to just lay down on the table and allow it to do its work, and me just to essentially passively experience what feels like deep healing in departments of myself that I haven't been able to access with body work or any of the other healing modalities that I've experienced. There's something deep about the intelligence of the plants and their knowing of how to access parts of myself that I don't know that I would have known how to access without them. And so that's just it's been a very fascinating experience.
Anything else you wanted to just...
I think just an immense amount of gratitude for Jose and the shamans here. And even the term shaman, like I'm a person that like never likes to use that term because it feels icky. There's like too much nonsense attached to the term shaman, especially if you live in Venice. But they're legit. They're like proper, you know, their ancestors and, you know, grandma and grandpa and brothers and sisters, and, you know, they're like really in it and, you know, been doing it for decades, and you can feel the difference of being with a person like that. It's fairly indescribable without actually experiencing it. And so an immense amount of gratitude for them for putting that work in to be able to present the experience for us to be here now. And the amount of care from the rest of the facilitators is perfect. Like they really genuinely care a lot, and it's made me feel very welcome and very safe. Because ultimately, if you don't feel safe to get into parts of oneself, myself, that have ultimately been contracted or covered up, typically out of a sensation of feeling unsafe in the first place. If you can't feel really deeply held, supported, safe in whatever the space that you're in, it would be a long shot to be able to access those parts to heal. And so they've done a really tremendous job at creating a space for people like myself to feel safe enough to heal. So I appreciate it.